Okay, class, I'm going to be walking us through problem 14 and problem 15. They are both word problems, which I struggle with, so let's get started. The first problem says, which is number 14, it says, a loan is paid off in 30 years with a total of $99,000. It has a 3% interest rate that is compounded monthly. What is the principal? So the first thing I noticed for this program is says, let's start from the beginning. A loan is paid off in 30 years. So when we hear years, I know that time, T equals 30. Okay. It has a total of 99,000, which is not to be confused with the principal, which is the starting amount. It says the total is 99,000. So let's just write up here, total 99,000, and this is in dollars. Okay, it goes on to say it had a 3% interest rate. So it gives us the R, which is the rate, equals 3, and out of 100%, you would write that as 0.03. And the rate is compounded monthly. So this one's a little tricky because that would mean N is equal to, if it's compounded monthly, there's 12 months in a year, so N is equal to 12. And at first this threw me off a little bit because I would always say, how do I remember N is equal to how many times it's compounded? But I remember it now because N equals the number of times it's compounded, continuously compounded. So then the question is asking, what is the principal? So the principal is what we're solving for. We don't know the principal. But since we know that we're solving for the P, we have the R, we have the N, and we have the T, we have all the information to use this formula here. So let's go ahead and plug it in. First, we start with a total of 99,000. So we're gonna set everything equal to 99,000 equal to. We're solving for P, we're not given P. So we'll have P, and then I'm just doing this formula here. So 1 plus, what is our rate? Our rate is 0.03. 0.03 over, what is our N, which is the number of times it's continuously compounded? 12. And we raise it to the NT. Well, we have N and T, so it would be N is equal to 12 times T is 30. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna grab my calculator and I'm going to solve for what we have so far, which is this. All of this. I'm going to enter that and I'm going to leave P alone because we don't have a value for P yet. So I'm going to put 1 plus, in parentheses, everything in parentheses. So parenthesis, 1 plus, I'm going to do a fraction. Top of the fraction is going to be 0.03. Denominator of the fraction would be 12. I'm going to close my parenthesis, and I'm going to raise this all to the 12 times 30 power equals. So now I have 99,000 equals P, and then this solved is, or calculated, is 2.4568 4, 2, 2, 1, 1. And I'm going to be careful not to round anything just yet, as it would throw off the calculations when I finish solving this, as I finish solving this problem. So now we have 99,000 equal to P times 2.4 and the rest of this number. So Professor Mahan always tells us that when we have a variable, we're solving for P, so we want to know what P equals, so we have to move the rest of everything to this side. How are we going to do that? We're going to divide this by itself, so we eliminate that, and we're going to divide both sides by it, because what we have to do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're going to divide this by 2.456842211, and we're going to do the same to this side. So this cancels out, so P is left by itself. So once we divide 99,000 by 2.456842211, that's what we're going to have to calculate to solve for P. 99,000 divided by 2.456842211 equals, I get 40,295.62809. And I believe this says round to the nearest cent. So here is our dollars on the left side of the decimal, and here is our cents. Since there's 100 cents in $1, we're gonna go to the hundredth place, and the next number over is an 8, so we're gonna round the 2 to a 3. And this would be our final answer in dollars. P, our principal amount, is this number here, $40,295.63. Okay, now moving on to question number 15. A stockbroker allocated $100,000 to an account earning 4% per year, compounded continuously. If no withdrawals are made, how much was in the account at the end of 4 years? Round your answer to the nearest dollar. Okay, so for this one, a stockbroker allocated $100,000. So that right there would be our principal. So we have P equals 100,000, and this is in dollars. So that's our P. Into an account earning 4% 4% per year, compounded continuously. So our rate is 0.04, and that's indicating 4% out of 100%. And it asks, if no withdrawals are made, how much was in the account at the end of 4 years? So time equals 4. So for this formula is what we'd be using. I like to call it PERT because it's easy to remember, and it's pretty cool because the E that we use here, we know that's Euler's number, that funky E that we learned about in our activity. And so let's plug everything in. This is fairly simple. P is 100,000. That's the principal amount, what we're starting off with. And we'd make that funky E, and we'd raise that to the R times T. So rate is 0.04 times T is 4. So I'm gonna go in my calculator, and I'm gonna enter 100,000, and then I'm going to use my E feature, and it opens up a box for me to input what I'm raising it to, and in this case, I'm raising it to the rate times the time, 0.04 times 4. So I'm just going to enter it like so, 0.04 times 4, enter, and I get 117,351.0871. Now this problem asks to round it to the nearest dollar. So since the change here, I think of it always like money, like change. 8%, if I round that to the nearest dollar, I would just leave this alone here. If it was over 50 cents or over, then I would round this 1 up to 2, but since it's 0.08%, I would leave it alone, and then this becomes our answer. That's it, guys.